Oppa Gundam style, everybody, and welcome to Wow Cool Robot, Noisepace.xyz's very own Gundam podcast. We are, as of today, soup free. Fuck the universal century. Fuck everything else. We're in the future century now. No more
soup.
fucking
soup.
We are
only bread.
We
it's
are
all pizza.
We are no longer at soup. We are not at the soup store for
left
clothes.
Soup fucking mercifully. Instead, we're in fucking Rome, Italy. I'm your host, Max. I use he, him pronouns. And with me today are some brand new faces, but familiar to some. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Oh my god, I'm first in alphabetical order for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. Sure. I'm Audrey. I use they, them, or she, her pronouns. And some folks may know me as one of the hosts of Pod of Greed.
Wow.
Hell yeah. And I am Argyle. I use he, him pronouns. I'm also a host of Pod of Greed and of Kamurocho Radio.
Hey. And this, Argyle and Audrey, I have assembled you today, my fellow Gundam pilots, because we have decided to watch a series that is good because it doesn't have ideology in it. We've decided to fucking give my poor battered brain a break.
I feel it's there, but it's like, it doesn't want you to see it.
Exactly. It's there, but like not to the degree of fucking the last year of anime I spent watching.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's true, although I
God.
will say that, like, the fundamental, like, basis of the show is colonization is bad, wow, cool robot.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
like there are themes to explore, and we'll get to them. But it's for the most part, it's big robots doing funny martial arts moves at each other. So
And funny racisms.
And it's
yeah,
fucking
it's-
funny racisms. Hoof.
it's like Punch Out or Street Fighter in that way. Yeah,
It really is just fucking Punch Out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Especially our second episode here, huh?
Yeah, hoof.
yeah.
If you couldn't tell, I don't know if I actually said it. We're watching G Gundam for this
We're
next...
watching Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
Yes, Mobile Fighter. They are not mobile suits. They are known as mobile fighters now. Which it's fucking... This is the first alternate timeline that Gundam has done. This came out in 1994. So Gundam was 15 years old. And they're like,
Wow.
all right, fuck the universal century. We're going to do something else. We're going to do a world where, well, Earth is still shitty and sucks and got all fucked up. And all the rich people, this is what Elon Musk would have invented if he got to write Gundam. Because it's a world where all the rich people left Earth and gets to live in space and do fucking cool shit and fight robots. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. It's something. It's a very fun AU.
This is Saudi Vision 2020. This is what Mohammed bin Salman wants.
Exactly. Before we get into it, how about, as is tradition in our other podcast, Pod of Greed, where we have hosts and they sort of tell us what their history with the show is, I would like to hear from both of you on what your Gundam history is. And going alphabetically, Audrey, I'd like to hear from you.
Hell yeah, I love.
How did you get here today?
So I grew up on Toonami, essentially. And Gundam started airing on Toonami. I watched G Gundam was the first Gundam that I think actually aired on Toonami. I might be incorrect about it, but if my memory serves me correctly, G Gundam was actually the first one to make it over to Toonami, and I watched it as part of the block.
It probably was. Like, they started it around the same time, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was Wing, actually.
No, I think Wing came after. I think Wing aired after.
I definitely remember seeing G Gundam on Toonami as well. We'll get to that, but yeah.
I'm fairly sure that Wing came after G Gundam. I'm fairly sure about this.
Okay, not to invite you on the show and then dunk you by fact-checking, but according to Wikipedia, Wing aired on Wing came after G Gundam in, like, release order. It looks like Wing aired in 2000, and then original Gundam aired in 2001 with a couple of side stories, and then G Gundam was in 2002.
Interesting.
On Toonami.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. I'm not sure how I missed Wing on its first go around then, because G Gundam was definitely my first exposure to Gundam. I was like obsessed with G Gundam. I loved it. I was like singing the opening theme song, which they completely kept for the English release, which is great.
Perfect.
Like all the fucking time. I love G Gundam. And then I tried to get into Gundam Wing, and I wasn't able to do it at first because I didn't like Hero.
Yeah.
Because I simply didn't like Hero. And then I tried again later on, and I still didn't like Hero. And I didn't like any of the other characters either, except Quattro and, like, Troa occasionally. And I was like, I guess I'm gonna just power through this. So I watched all of G Gundam, and I really liked it. And I watched all of Gundam Wing, and I hated it. And I was like, maybe that's enough Gundam for me for now. But I love G Gundam, and the ending of it did make me cry.
Outstanding.
Yes. I'm not going to say my experience is similar, because when I was a kid, and when Toonami would come on Cartoon Network, I would say, well, what is this? What are these weird cartoons? This is not anything I want to see. So I always skipped out on Toonami because it was weird to me as a kid. So I was...
Sure.
But I remember, I do have a hazy memory of seeing... the Shining Finger sword scene that we'll see in a few episodes, like the super mode the first time he activates it, and I think that was pretty cool even to me as a kid. And that, but it wasn't until after I graduated high school, it was my freshman year of college. That's it. A streamer by the name of Ty Tuesday, who I'm a fan of, is very into G Gundam and talked about it a lot, still does, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty fun. That's the kind of thing that I am into at this moment, at this point in my life, when I was 18, and so I watched it. It was all on YouTube at the time. You just watch it for free pretty easily, and I loved it, and yeah, the ending did make me cry as well, and it's the only Gundam series I've watched. I'm sorry, folks. Oh, well, actually, when I was a kid, I watched SD Gundam a little bit. I did actually like that one because it was a funnier show. But
yeah, I mean, the nice thing about Gundam is you don't need to have seen anything. Since it's the first AU alternate timeline sort of series, there is absolutely no there's probably going to be references to other Gundam properties, but you don't need to know about fucking new types. You don't need to know about the 1 Year War or fucking Char Asimov or Haro Ray.
Who's Haro?
Speaking
Haro, I do wish Haro was the fucking universal constant, but alas, we're ready. I watched these. Katie actually was watching
Gundam
them with
fans.
me.
I'm sorry I have not watched any other Gundams. I will. I swear. I want to.
You're valid. No,
I'm bad at watching things.
Finishing Char's Counterattack, I was like, fuck UC, fuck Gundam. It's a bad media property.
I refuse to watch any other Gundam. See, this is all you're getting
done with
me.
the Universal Century. I'm done with it.
And you should refuse to watch other Gundam. Because now we are emptying our brains out and we are getting ready to do a fucking fight. So I'd say it is now finally time for us to begin discussing the first 3 episodes of Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
Yeah. I mean, before we get to the episode, we want to just talk about the OP. That's how it starts off. There's no cold open or anything.
There's no cold open. No, holy shit. This OP, Fly in the Sky, so goddamn good.
It bangs. Yeah,
it's like... Okay, so the chorus, it's 2 separate songs. The verses are literally "Don't You Forget About Me" by Simple Minds.
Yeah.
And then the chorus is any Journey song.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's very good.
It's so fucking good. It's so fun. The visuals are great. You see the fucking space colonies. You get to see shiny Gundam around.
It says
I've got the Blu-rays for this. I bought them a few months back as a birthday gift for myself. And it's the animation on this OP is wonderful. It just looks great. And on the Blu-rays in general, just the whole show looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Buy our Blu-rays.
Please buy our Blu-rays.
Blu-rays are good. Shut up. They are expensive though. Don't buy them.
It's just the visuals are fucking great. It just really gets you going for a very fun, silly time. I love the shot of the space colony with the fucking boxing bell over it. It's it's a juxtaposition. It's fucking fun. It's really cool. It is. It's just so it gets you right away too, because it does that thing where the OP is sort of mixed differently compared to the full song. So it just hits you immediately with in the sky. It's oh shit. It
fucking
gets you going right away.
It's Also, I appreciate a good opening that is created specifically for the show.
Yeah.
Which this definitely is, because like the core part of
They
the
say
chorus,
shining
yeah,
finger
the core
in
part,
the-
of,
Yes.
right, the core,
And you can hear them. You can hear the backup singer saying G Gundam.
Yeah.
Like, and it's great.
So the core part of the chorus is "Shining Finger," and like juxtaposed over the Shining Finger move, which is
Yes.
it's good. It's a very hype song.
It is. It's like fan service for a series you were literally just introduced to, and it still works so fucking well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I do the moves alongside Domon Kashu.
It is the song equivalent of "Let's fucking go."
Pretty much,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the baseball yelling, it's Haro. This is where Haro shows up. All right, well, how about I tell y'all what happens? Mobile Fighter G Gundam Episode 1. Gundam fight begins, the Gundam that fell to Earth. In the future century, war is waged not with armies but with Gundams. The rich and powerful have long since left Earth and reside in space colonies, each with a representative piloting their own Gundam. As the 13th Gundam fight begins, we see every colony's Gundam fall to Earth. One veers off course and lands in Rome, Italy. This is the Shining Gundam, belonging to Domon Kashu. He's accosted in the city by both the police and by the Mafia, led by Neo-Italy's Gundam fighter, Mikelo Chariot, with his Neros Gundam. Mikelo ends up kidnapping an orphan who is helping Domon and calls him to the Mafia hideout. Domon arrives, a fight breaks out, and he ends up defeating Neros Gundam with his signature technique, Shining Finger, but not before asking if Mikelo knows the mysterious man the photograph Domon carries. This is good. This is a very, very solid first episode.
Yeah, this introduces us to this is a good introduction for Domon.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask, Audrey, do you watch the dub or the sub?
I watched the sub, but only because that's what Crunchyroll has available.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's all Crunchyroll has.
All alone in dub world.
So
for me.
I really enjoyed the dub when I watched it, and I feel like I would actually enjoy rewatching the dub as well. But
The dub is quality. I think it's good.
Yeah, so this choice has nothing to do with like my own personal preferences and just what's most easily available to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think my biggest complaint about the dub is that Domon is kind of wooden a lot of the time.
Yeah.
When he's just like talking plainly to people, which I guess you could say is like, oh, he's emotionally closed off, but it really just feels like, oh, he's not great at doing
not the best
the
voice
normal
acting.
talking parts.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I will say he's good at the more like intense parts. Like he can do the yelling, he can do the action parts.
Right.
Like he's good at that. I will say.
Yeah.
Like I think he's really good at that.
He's good at the recognizable, arguably more important parts of piloting a Gundam.
Yeah.
All I can think about when I think about Domon's English dub these days are the like Toonami promos that do a collection of all of their shows and the parts that they choose for him where he's very emotionally invested in them. So yeah.
So this one starts out, we see Gundams falling from the colonies to Earth. They're all landing in their own countries,
Yes.
All the countries have Neo in front of their name, which tells you it's in the future.
Yeah, Neo Russia, Neo France, Neo America.
So y'all ever watch Arrival? This is
pretty much.
This is the plot of Arrival, except that we actually speak their languages, but
Let Amy Adams pilot a Gundam. See what happens. One does not fall where it should, though, because it lands in Rome, Italy. Also, I like how, like, artistically they portray Rome, because, like, the whole thing is that Earth is, like, all fucked up. It's been about 60 years since the Gundam fights have begun, and the Earth is just, like, basically, like, the entire Earth is a slum for the people who live in the colonies in space.
Yeah.
And the way, like, Rome is painted, it's so cool. It's so dark. You can barely see anything. It really feels like this, like, ancient, dismal, completely trashed city. And, like, it has this really, like, uneasy air to it.
Yeah, there's this constant, like, cloud cover on it that like, makes it really, just no matter what time of day, it's not bright at any point.
Yeah, you can't tell if it's day or night or not.
Except for at the end, I guess, because it's like, oh, it's hopeful, but, like...
metaphorical.
The whole, it's very, dismal is the right word for it.
And as this Gundam presumably lands, it starts, like, the Earth sort of, like, closes up around it somehow. I don't know if this is like a mechanism the Gundams do, or if it just does that.
It forms a Gundam cocoon to turn into a beautiful Gundam butterfly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it is I think they say it has like some sort of cooling device,
Yeah.
but yeah, like it lands and like it's really cool the way that it makes like a blooming onion around itself, basically.
Crikey!
God, it's been so long since I've been to an Outback Steakhouse. I'm just looking at this
Yeah,
blooming
God.
onion with envy.
I'd like to take a bite of the Gundam.
Yeah, but like the molten earth like curls up around it and to
Yeah.
make a shell. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. Were you
We,
saying
we don't get to we don't really make out like what the
No.
Gundam looks like exactly. It's all wreathed in shadow.
We see its eyes, and that's it. And some fucking freak-ass man is watching from his balcony, and he has long, crazy red hair, and he's like, oh, shit, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, is the signal for the signal for the start of the Gundam fight, and he loves this shit.
Yeah. He's drinking wine, of course. And he just smashes the bottle in his hand just because he can do that.
He's strong, you see. Everyone's
Yeah.
strong in this fucking show.
And he's got his gang of Mad Max type hooligans. And he's like, yeah, let's go, boys. We're gonna wreak havoc on Rome just for fun.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking hunt down the pilot of this Gundam, and we're gonna celebrate the Gundam fight beginning.
Yeah.
We do get a little bit of like exposition.
Right.
All the cops show up because they're checking out the scene of the Gundam. That's when they mention like the cooling thing it has. And the assistant, whose name is Messina, I believe, is like, oh, this is a fucking tourist site. And the main cop,
Magina, my man, this dude is a homosexual. Look at the way he's dressed.
he's very stylish.
Yeah. I love this guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he is a cop, but I love his fit, is what I'm saying.
Under no circumstances do you have to hand it to him, but and then we get exposition. Everyone hates Earth. All the rich people are in space. He lands on a tourist site, but like no one cares because everyone's gone anyhow.
Yeah. So here we get again the first mention of the core thesis of the show: colonization is bad. Wow, cool robot.
Yeah, exactly. We figured it out. We got it in one.
Yeah,
Let's go.
the lead detective here. He's just like, it's been 60 years like this, and they just use the Earth as like a big fighting ring. It sucks. I hate them. But
scum.
I guess there's not really anything we can do. Yeah, he just calls all the Gundam fighters scum the whole episode.
Fucking get their ass. He hates them so much. And then we cut over.
Yeah, we get a first look at our main character, Vincent Final Fantasy.
Pretty
Pretty fucking much.
Yeah.
Yes, like we get to see like Domon, who's like on a rooftop. He has a very cool red cape and dark hair. He is Vincent Final Fantasy, but God, he's fucking cool. He's just cool to look
real
at.
cool.
The thing about Domon is he's really fucking cool.
He's great. He's just like he's so fucking like he looks like half Vincent, half Ash Ketchum.
How old are the protagonists in the previous series? Because
like
Domon's
15, 16.
Yeah, Domon's like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit older than previous protagonists. Not quite a child soldier, young adult soldier, I suppose.
Young adult soldier.
Young adult soldier.
God. And yeah, so he's watching on, not menacingly but very broodingly. And then we later see him. He's in a bar, and the bar's all trashed up and everything. We see some like scavenger kids trying to gather money, and they find like jewels and necklaces and shit. And they're like, "Oh, this is worthless. Damn, this sucks."
No, well, no, they have cash, and one of the kids is like, "No, the cash is worthless. What you really want are these jewels and gemstones that we found."
Jewels and gems.
Like these are good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
If we can keep finding gemeralds like this, I hope they have Gundam fights every year.
The Rome orphan chuckled. You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes.
And Domon's at the bar, and like we see the bartender like calling in, like, "Hey, there's some fucking dude here." He's just standing there menacingly.
Kind of a weird.
He looks
guy.
distinctly Asian, so
Hey,
that's fucking weird.
There's a weird non-Italian person here.
He speaks Japanese. I don't know that language.
He looks really cool, so you might want to come check this out.
This is the most exciting thing that's happened to Rome in 4 years.
Yeah.
Since the last Gundam fight.
Exactly. And Domon takes out a photo and he hands it to the bartender. He's like, "Yo, you seen this fucking dude?" And the bartender
have.
doesn't. Now you have. You seen him? Now you have. And he doesn't. And Domon's like, "Ah, fuck, whatever, man." And he tries to put it back in his pocket, and it kind of like slides out. And the scavenger girl sees it and, like, picks it up and hands it back to him. And, like, Domon smiles, so we can tell, oh, he's kind of gruff on the outside, but he has a kind heart.
Yeah, he has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
And well, they have all this jewelry, and one of the goons, the Mad Max guys, comes up, and he's just intimidating this kid, like, "Hey, kid, don't you think you ought to not have all that jewelry? You somebody's gonna steal it if you just waving it around like that."
Hey, you want to give me those jewels?
We can't.
I can only
it's
do
the
one
first
voice.
episode. We can't do Pot of Greed again.
No, we just got done with that series.
Oh boy.
And this big old thug, like, picks up the little scavenger girl. And Domon is like, a fight, wonderful. And, like, we immediately cut over, like, outside the bar, and, like, the guy goes fucking flying out the door. And then Domon,
with the
like,
table.
with the table, and, like, Domon, like, kicks the table into two other guys. And, like, you can tell Domon fucking rules. This guy's so cool.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's just doing sick martial arts and kicks and flips and shit. And it's great.
The thing about Domon is that, like, he's absolutely a complete Gary Stu, if you believe in, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it rules. Like,
It's
to be
good.
cool,
It works.
to be completely clear, he's, like, infallible and, like, undefeatable, and it fucking rules. He's so cool.
I don't
He's
want
so
him
cool.
to be a complex character. I want him to be a badass one-liner spitting guy who wins every single fight he ever takes part in.
Wow, good news.
Good news.
So,
Stan Domon.
Yeah, he just beats up this entire gang of guys, and he picks up the big dude from before just with one hand and is holding him above his head, like it shows him the photograph, asks him if he's seen this guy as well, and then the cops pull up.
Uh-oh, it's the fuzz.
hey, Cab.
A-cab. And yeah, and like, they all have guns on him, and like, they tell Domon to let the guy go. He's like, just drops him in the fucking river and makes a big old splash. The Roman canals. I guess that is the Tiber, or probably, fucking who knows, I've never been there.
I think
And
it's
he
just a
gets
fountain
taken.
or something.
Oh, okay, oh. Well, no, because we see the river, because, like, when the Gundam crashes in, it does, like, a shockwave, and, like, a dog is sent
Well,
flying, and it, like,
I'm just saying,
sends
I
a
think he
wave.
just dropped this guy into a fountain.
Okay, all right, yeah. But Doma gets taken to, like, this sort of fucking interrogation room in the police station.
Yeah, they do advanced Italian-style interrogation on him, where they slam his face into a pizza.
Buono cop, malo cop.
Oh my god. It's actually a really funny sequence. It's kind of sad, but also really funny, where, like, he's like, just admit you're a Gundam fighter, and I'll give you this delicious pizza, and then doesn't wait another second before slamming his face down in it. It's like, you're giving him the pizza, dude.
Eat your pizza, Domon.
Eat your pizza.
He's like, yeah, if you tell me that you're a Gundam fighter, you can fucking have it. And then
Domon,
someone
4
comes
p.m., time for your pizza flattening.
in. Mamma mia. And fucking, he gets bailed out, though, by a girl.
Rain, my beloved.
Rain.
Rain Makimura. We love Rain here.
We love Rain. Yeah, like, they toss him his cloak and his passport, and she's like, you fucking dingus. Like, if you carried that with you, you wouldn't have this problem in the first place. And then Domon's like, and then just silently fucking tears his passport up and tosses it into the river. Like, dude, come on, man. You're so cool. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, can we talk about Rain for a second?
Let's talk about Rain.
I would
talk
love to
about
talk
Rain.
about Rain.
Yeah, Rain is Domon's mechanic, and love interest, obviously, but primarily mechanic. She does repairs on his Gundam and just kind of helps him out. And she's great. What do you... I love her clothes, like her outfit.
Okay, Rain... Here's the thing. Rain was, like, I think, like, a prototype for Totally Spies that came out.
Yeah. She has clover hair.
So she's designed like Clover. Yeah, so she has Clover hair. Rain's big thing is that she has all these different gadgets that she, like, engineers to get them out of various situations. And... like, one of them, which we see later in this episode, is, like, a makeup compact.
Yeah,
Literally,
funny.
yeah.
That
like
turns...
a compact
that
into, like, a
turns-
bubble shield.
turns into a bubble shield, and like I don't know, like she's so I love Rain very, very much. She's like incredibly competent, which which is like again, especially when I'm thinking about Gundam Wing, the only other Gundam series I've actually watched, and the women and love interests in Gundam Wing. She's just like, and she's obviously not as cool as Domon, but like.
But she's still fucking cool.
She's really cool.
She saves his ass a lot.
Yeah, she's very self-sufficient. She's incredibly competent. She rules. I love her.
You get the sense that they're like
talks back to Domon because he's extremely stupid, and just like if she wasn't here, he would probably be dead.
Yeah, no, you get the sense that they're like a very good team. Like they know how to work together. It's not like Rain's taking care of Domon. It's like Domon can take care of himself, but Rain's also there to like assist him. It's not like. It feels like a very equal relationship, which I like. It's not like she's like, oh, the girl assistant, you know? It's like she's actually a character, which I really appreciate. Rain's fucking cool.
Rain is cool.
And at this point, the scavengers run up, and we get our first bread shot of the series because they have their bags, and the girl has two big Italian baguettes,
giant, Italian-style bread.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, she gives the Domon. She's like, hey, we got this for you. Well, actually, we found it outside the bakery. But here you go. You're probably hungry.
Domon is overjoyed to see this bread.
Yeah, he smiles again. We love it. And Rain is like, oh, thanks, kids. You should hurry back to your parents now. And then they all frown, look down to the ground. You're like, oh, no, you're Gundam orphans. It's happening again.
Yeah, all of their parents were killed in the last Gundam fight.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, fucking hang out in the hotel with us then, kids. We'll take care of you.
They go to the most evil-looking hotel in all.
Oh my god!
They go to the hotel from American Horror Story.
They go to the hotel from Home Alone 2.
It's literally got devil horns on the top. I was trying to see if this is an actual hotel in Rome, but I didn't have time. But it's
it's fine though. No one's here. It's empty.
As I can attest to in the next episode, the geography of the cities that they visit is very accurate.
Yeah, are you accusing them of not doing their research of lovingly recreating the famous cities of the world for this funny robot series, Audrey?
I mean, they didn't even try. I have a lot of comments about that for next episode. They didn't even try.
Tremendous.
Well, it wasn't like we're coming back here.
And as they're like kind of walking up the stairs in the main lobby, the kids are talking to Domon. They're like, hey, you don't fuck with the mafia. You know, their leader is named Michelo. And he's also Italy's Gundam fighter. Michelo Chariot, the champagne of Gundam fighters.
Yep.
And as if on cue, we hear Michelo laugh maniacally and shove his Gundam's hand through the wall.
Yeah.
Which, like, how did it sneak up on them? It's a fucking Gundam.
Yeah, right? Like...
And as we, like, established later in this episode, it's not like Michelo is a particularly, like, finessed fighter. So it's not like... I don't think he has, like, the sneaking skills to, like...
Gundams are very sneaky in this series, I think you'll find.
But again, in his hands, like, maybe Domon could sneak a Gundam up like this, but I don't buy that Michelo has the nuance and finesse to sneak a mobile fighter up to
Perhaps
this hotel.
Oh, God. But yeah, he fucking shoves his hand through and, like, tries to grab them, and, like, everyone's like, you know, get down, Mr. President. And... at this point, actually, we do get like this sort of like mid-episode cut in, and it's this really fun, funky like circuit board, like very like it's this very cool animatic of just like the circuit board forming the Gundam head. It's like cute. It's totally meaningless, but I just like to see it.
It's a cool eye catch.
It's a cool eye catch.
We get our first reveal of Michelo Chariot's power.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Hey, what the
Powerful
fuck?
kicks.
Hey, what the fuck? He has razor kicks. This is never explained.
It's like Guile Street Fighter, but he can do it with his kicks instead of his hands. He can just do that.
That, like I was telling Max before we started recording, Italian people can just do that.
That's right. It's all the olive oil they drink.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. This is not very Demolto of you, Michelo. Also, his outfit fucking rules. It is extremely, like, early 90s European punk looking.
Oh, he is, like, the archetype for Eurotrash.
Really, yeah. He's, like, just leather and spikes everywhere. It fucking whips.
Big shoulder pads, like, over the leather jacket. Like, the hair, ridiculous. Love it.
But...
Yeah, it's just...
And, yeah, he reveals that he has kidnapped Sophia, one of the kids.
Yes.
And if Domon wants her back, he will meet him at the Coliseum.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't say the Coliseum. He says our hideout, but like their hideout's the fucking Coliseum.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, their hideout is just the Coliseum. So
This is also, I mean...
at this point, he just for fun, he fires his guns.
Yeah. And,
You were saying something, Audrey?
Well, I was just saying that, like, he's like, if you want her back, like, you'll meet us at our hideout if you can get out of here alive. And then he like, starts blasting them with machine gun fire. And Domon's like, Rain, could you please? And Rain's like, if a magical makeup shield, activate. And
Go Gadget compact bubble.
It's great.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah,
it's so sick.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's just totally spies.
It's so stupid. It comes out of left field, but I love it. It's just like, yeah, this makes sense. Sure, why not?
She could do that,
Yeah, I do love, this is more for me, but like, almost all Gundams have forehead Vulcans, which is what Mikolo used. Like, you know, just fucking machine guns in the forehead, like sort of on the temples.
Yeah.
And like, I love that that's an actual, like, a lot of the Gundams do that in this, from what I can tell. And I love the noise it makes. This is very nice, like, very mechanical, like, chainsaw engine sounding noise when it's going. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. It's like, wow, cool robot. It's a show. We love it.
Yeah, they have the forehead Vulcans. They never do anything, though. They're always useless, because this is a martial arts show.
Very rarely will a forehead Vulcan actually, like, deal damage.
Even Shining Gundam has them, but and uses them in this set of episodes that we watch. But it's like, it's always just, it's for flavor, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because they can't always punch. Sometimes you have to... If you do nothing but punch and not shoot, the audience will get bored with your Gundam fight.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, generally speaking... And again, I haven't watched Zeta or ZZ, so I can't necessarily speak to that. But because this is a show specifically about one-on-one fights, all the fights are really well choreographed.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
The actual fight choreography of this show is phenomenal because that's what it's all about.
It's basically, I think what it boils down to, Audrey, is that a lot of times in the other series, like, yeah, there's fights, but it's portrayed as such that, like, a single, like, hit from a beam saber or, like, a single beam or missile will, like, destroy a mobile suit. So for this, like, they made it more durable.
Like, I think the difference, from my understanding, and again, I guess I'm going a little bit to wing for this, but the difference between, like, G Gundam and other Gundams is that G Gundam is about fights, while other Gundams are about battles.
And that's a good way of putting it.
And by narrowing it down to these one-on-one fights that have, like, very heavily regulated rules, and, you know, that are, like, an official sport, almost, it's, like, the fight choreography is just really, really good. It really allows all the Gundams in the show to show off their assets, like, to the best of their capabilities.
Yeah, it's the difference between a fighting game and a beat 'em up. You know, it's like much more specialized.
Yeah, this is a guilty gear to all the other Gundams Yakuza.
It's such a fucking fun change of pace because it's like this is not a real robot show. This is a super robot show now. This is a show where the robots can, like, have fucking techniques and basically do, like, magic fucking, like, kung fu, and it rules because it's like
but even as opposed to, like, say something like Gurren Lagann, it is more. It's a lot more grounded than something like that.
It is also. I would say that this show, again, is a much more, or at least the actual fighting is much more about the fighting capabilities of the pilots, of the fighters. So, like, a Gundam has all these different... Each Gundam is pretty customized for each country.
Yeah.
But they all have... But they're only as good, really, as the fighting capabilities of their pilots.
It's about the skill of the pilot, and I think that's reflected in the mobile trace system that I believe is exclusive to the series, where they are actually... They have, like, a suit on that does the movements as they, you know, they're doing the moves alongside their Gundam.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And
it's so you get a lot of cockpit scenes of them doing the actual moves that the Gundam is doing, and, like, it cuts back and forth between that a lot. So it's as much a fight between the pilots personally, and less about, like, the like what the Gundam is equipped with, like what it is capable of on a technical level.
Yeah, because before, like, they would get in the Gundam cockpit, and you would have, like, your chair, and you'd have, like, a lot of... In the earlier Gundams, it's, like, pedals and levers and stuff. Like, it looked more like you were using a sort of, like, you know, like, kind of like you were driving a car a little bit.
Yeah.
But the mobile trace system works so well for this because it's all about, like, your physical capabilities as a fighter. So it's like, yeah, it makes so much sense to have you do the moves alongside your Gundam. Like, we're never going to stop fucking saying that. Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. And speaking of fighting, Domon originally, so Mikila's like, yeah, if you want to see this little girl again, you're gonna have to save her. And Domon's like, newsflash, asshole, I don't care about kids. And
yeah, sure you don't.
Yeah, I was like, well, I have no reason to fight him. And then it's like. But he's like, but I need to ask him a question about a guy in a photograph. So
He has to go for that. There's also a funny line here where Rain says to the kids, like, "Don't worry, kids. I'll talk to the Gundam Regulatory Commission." And Domon's like, "Don't bother. It's not in the rule book." It's like,
yeah, it doesn't matter if you kidnap a child and threaten to kill her.
Yeah. Well, damn. Looking at the rule book, it doesn't say that an Italian mafia leader can't kidnap a child prior to the Gundam fight.
Colonization is bad.
Sorry, our hands are tied.
Colonization is bad. Well, cool robot.
Exactly.
There's precisely 7 rules in the Gundam fight, and kidnapping children is nowhere among them.
No, they didn't have enough. They had to print very small booklets, so they couldn't fit all the rules they wanted to.
The first rule is Gundam fight is that no other laws apply outside of the Commission's rules to Gundam fight.
I mean, pretty much though. That's like the seventh. Yeah. That's like the 7th one. Let me see if I can actually find the list of them, and I'll talk about them later. But
okay, cool.
So he heads over to the Coliseum.
Yeah. There's like the cop shows up, and the cop is like, "You stay here." And the cop goes to the Coliseum, and like he has Messina watch Domon to make sure he doesn't go anywhere. And like we do get a cutaway immediately after Messina on the ground with his glasses broken, and Domon ran off.
Yeah, he got owned.
They're in the Coliseum. Sophia's like tied up, sort of like dangling from the Neros Gundam's finger. And you know, the cop has the gun trained on Mikolo, and then we cut over and Domon is fucking menacingly walking towards them all.
Also,
he's cracking his hands. It rules.
As a very small aside, can we talk about like the absolute brain blast of Italy to name its Gundam Neros Gundam?
I know.
Really? You're gonna name it after your famous Roman Empire who burned the entire city down while playing music?
Yeah, well, I guess. You know, if Mikolo Chariot's the pilot, it's kind of appropriate.
I guess.
Yeah. They read the script.
Right.
Yeah.
It's thematic.
Yeah, so the cop is here. He's like, the scum, I'm gonna take him out. He's about to snipe Mikolo Chariot. When Domon walks up, he's like, more scum. And what happens then?
So...
He pulls the trigger piglet.
He pulls the trigger piglet and, like... Fucking Mikolo just kicks it away with his powerful feet.
Yeah, he uses his silver feet to just kick the bullet.
He can just do that.
And he kicks it at such an angle that it severs the rope that's holding Sophia.
It's so fucking wild. And she drops, and like Domon goes to catch her, and everyone like starts shooting at Domon. And when the dust clears, he is not lying dead on the pavement.
He's not.
And in fact, he has caught every bullet in his hands.
All the bullets.
We see his fucking tattoo. Tattoo? Is it like glow?
His insignia.
Yeah.
So he has an emblem on his left hand. Yes, his left hand.
His right hand. It's his right hand.
No,
it's his right hand.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah,
it's his right hand. That's the one he does Shining Finger with.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So he has an emblem on his right hand, which is like a playing card heart. And it has like King of Hearts and a banner across it because he's the King of Hearts.
It's pretty sick. We don't know what that means, but that's what he is.
Yeah, it says King of Heart 4711. I don't know if that number's meaningful at all, but like they see that and they're like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck, dude, he's the King of Hearts!"
Oh no!
And everyone is terrified of him. So Mikolo like jumps up and gets in his Neros Gundam and just starts like fucking John Lennon walking towards Domon trying to crush him.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's how he do it.
That is what he does.
Meanwhile, like as this is going on, it has been cutting back to Rain, who is in front of the Gundam cocoon and has cracked that bad baby open.
Yeah, and it's like it looks like a lotus flower that hasn't like bloomed a little bit as it like it's this sort of like pinkish red like bulb that kind of flies over the Colosseum now.
Yeah,
and
this is separate from the weird rock cocoon. This is another.
Yes.
This is just a techno cocoon that it.
This is the
also
built-in
has.
cocoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's protection. It's double layered for your pleasure.
I guess this is the
And-
pod
Oh
it drops
my
in or something.
Double cocoons all across the sky.
And Domon says, "Rise, shining Gundam!" And he snaps his fingers, and we get the most meaningful magical girl transformation sequence I've ever seen.
This is. I was just thinking about this as I was watching it. It was like, wow, yeah, this is just a Sailor Moon sequence, isn't it?
I have an essay in me, which I will probably have to write before I'm finished on this tenure.
I really want to see it.
About like gender presentation and magical girl sequence transformation sequences in G Gundam, because entering into the trace system for everyone is a magical girl transformation sequence every single time. So as Max noted in our Discord, you gotta get naked.
Gotta get naked.
You gotta
get naked.
You gotta get naked, and then this like liquid latex comes up and covers you from head to toe, and you like Domon, you see Domon especially like there's a great ass shot in the transformation sequence where it just like suctions to his ass, and you can
see the curve and outline of each cheek.
Yes.
Like all of the musculature. He's got juicy cheeks, and like he like pulls his like hand away. It looks like tar, and you can see it like the liquid latex like stretch and then snap and like conform to his body.
And the way it's like spinning around him and like twisting. It
looks painful.
It is painful.
Yeah. And we find out later that it is like something a normal person can't really do.
Yeah.
Because it almost kills somebody.
And it is just like it's like very strangely erotic and male gazy for all of these male characters to go through every single time. And I have a real essay somewhere in me that I will plan on writing about how
we get to see Domon's in particular a lot.
Yes.
This is, of course, stock footage that we will be seeing in a lot of episodes.
Yes.
Like every time he suits
They
up.
don't like ever skip it.
Oh no, they show the whole thing.
No, it is canned animation. It's like a minute's worth, so they always play it to just like take up time in every fucking episode.
It's pretty sick though. I like to see it.
It's pretty sick though.
So anyway, I have many thoughts about the transformation sequence that so lovingly shows us every muscle in Domon's ass, and what it means for a predominantly male audience watching a predominantly male show.
Right? Yeah. And this signals somehow. I don't know if this is what signals the beginning of the Gundam fight, or if this is incidental. But
no, it does signal it.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is when the Gundam fight begins, because these like floating satellite rods around the Earth shoot out beams, and it makes like a fucking boxing a wrestling ring, like a ring around the Earth, and that's when the Gundam fight truly fucking begins.
Like Saturn rings. Yeah. So what happens is the colonial Gundam fight committee, I guess, they're like, we are registering two Gundams fight, like two Gundam signals in the same area. The Gundam fight has officially begun. And that is it.
Yeah, it begins. And we get the fight. You get Neros Gundam versus Shining Gundam.
Yeah, they just kind of they trade blows a little bit. Gundam, like Domon, is kind of playing defensively. He's backing off a lot. He throws a smoke grenade, which is very strange. I don't think he ever does this again. It's just like this big smoke canister.
Yeah, it's a weird technique, and Mikolo's like, oh, you're gonna do smoke. I'm gonna hit you with my silver feet. And he like crouches down, and like
you'd think it would be more kicks like he did before.
Yeah, no, it's like it's these. And by the way, Nearest Gundam, we're probably not gonna bother describing all of the Gundams we see unless they're like either very racist or very striking looking, and sometimes both are true.
Yeah, Neros isn't like all that. There's not really much to talk about with it.
It's like a beige color. It has like a sort of like Roman centurion helmet and like a lot of spikes, and it has these sort of like I don't even know, like outpit emitters looking thing on its the front of its calves. So when Mikolo crouches down, his mobile trace suit glows, and then he's like fires this like black laser out of it that's like just starts tearing through the town, and he loves this shit.
Yeah, he's just blowing up everything. It's just wreaking havoc everywhere. People are probably dying because of this.
All Mikolo wants to do is blow up and act like he don't know nobody.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Master Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Joker.
Yeah, he really is the Joker. And at this point, the cop is sort of expositing about why he doesn't like Gundam fights to Sophia. He's like, when I was a kid, I watched the colonies first leave Earth. And
how old is this fucking dude?
I've tried to figure that out, because if the Gundam fights are 60 years old, I'm going to assume he was maybe 5?
He's in his mid to late 60s. I don't think that's unreasonable.
He looks pretty good for mid to late 60s, though.
Yeah, is the thing.
Not to say anything positive about a cop, but...
he's aged well.
He's aged well. It's all the olive oil, you see. And he's like, all right, he's going to settle his fucking problems, and he doesn't care, and he runs out with just his, like, fucking rifle, and he's going to, like, shoot... Yeah, he's just going to shoot at Nero's Gundam, and...
Sure, dude.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't complain if you got blasted, but Domon sees
Sniper
this...
Elite, like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to...
Yeah. But Domon sees this and dives in and, like, covers him. He, like, crouches over and, like, cups him and, like, blocks him from the laser. And, like, this is really cool. What I like about the mobile trace is that when the Gundam takes damage, you see it appear as, like, circuitry on the mobile trace suit the pilot wears.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a neat touch.
It's very Evangelion, the trace system.
It's very Evangelion, yes. Yeah, the skin-tight suit that you control. Yeah, it's robots to me. And then Domon says, you may have silver feet, but I have these gold fingers. Yes. And he does something.
Gold finger. Yes.
He does something very, very cool here, doesn't he?
Yes. The faceplate. Yeah, the faceplate on the Shining Gundam opens up. He leaps towards Nero's Gundam and activates Shining Finger. I wish I could scream, because he is screaming out on this, and it sounds great.
I have to say, Shining Finger has no right being as cool as it is, given that it's just hand glowy.
Yeah,
it's hand glowy, but a very subtle touch is
so well.
They sell it so well. The hand, like,
I know.
Like, we see it in the next episode. Like, the fingers extend a tiny bit.
Yeah, they extend, because the way it works is that it's like it stores up heat and then vents it through the hand for Shining Finger.
Yeah, and that makes it glow green for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And Domon fucking leaps towards Nero's Gundam and grabs it on the head. And then, this is so sexy, he says, Article 1 of the Gundam Fight International Regulations. A unit whose head section has been destroyed is disqualified.
Disqualified. Yeah, and then the fucking... Oh, the animation on this is so good. You see the fingers, like, digging into Nero's Gundam's head, like, just, like, digging deeper into it. I watched this, like, 5 times, even though I was like... I'm going to be running late if I do this, but I'm going to do it anyways.
It's worth it.
Yeah. And Mikolo is absolutely terrified. He does not know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And he gets DM'd a photo. Domon's like, hey, before I kick your ass, you want to tell me who this is?
Before I send you to the afterlife. Hey.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you seen this man? Now you have.
Now you have.
And
then
Mikolo's like, absolutely not. I've never seen him before in my life. Please, 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 you're nothing.
Please. You're nothing.
And then Domon says, it's time for you to review Article 2 of the Gundam Fight Regulation, which is that you may not aim for the cockpit of an opponent's Gundam.
Yeah.
And that's when Domon just explodes the head off of Nero's Gundam.
It's so sick. And, like, Mikolo's hair turns white because of this.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He can be a different person after the pandemic.
God. And yeah, it's like after the battle, Nero's Gundam is like headless, like on the ground, and Mikolo's getting arrested because he is also the leader of the mafia in Italy. And we see Rain hanging with the kids, and they're like, hey, you gonna go with Domon? And she says no, she has to like kind of hang back and repair the Gundam while Domon's walking ahead. And he's like walking up the stairs, and then the fucking cop flags him down, like throws him what looks like a box of chocolates, but it's a pizza, even though it's like rectangular.
It's like rectangular. It's got a ribbon on it.
Life is like a box of pizza.
What kind of pizza is this? Yep. It's better if you share it.
Yeah. And we get like... He says, the Gundam fight's going to be one of those awful years. And we get that sort of, like, artsy final shot, which is, like, Domon looking back and smiling, and the cop turning away and lighting a cigarette. It's like, what? Why do we need to see him?
It's going to be one of those years.
It's just one of those years.
It's just one of those years.
That's
when
episode,
the Gundam fight happens. That is the first episode.
Good shit.
like just a great introduction all around of,
Oh yeah, very
Domon,
very
Rain,
strong first episode.
the Shining Gundam and the Shining Finger, and like the concept of what's going on here.
You know all you need.
And it like I like that it focuses on people on the ground for the first episode. Like
the little people.
Because like it's kind of it's going to come back around to that, but it is as much about like the devastation of Earth that's been caused by all of this as it is about anything else. So they're planting that early.
Yes. Now they're it gives you everything you need to start out, which I like a lot. Well, Argyle, shall you tell us about second episode?
This is G Gundam episode 2. Roar of the Winning Punch. We get our introduction to the announcer. He says, "Bonjour, je voudrais donner une petite explication." And he explains the concept of the Gundam fight, which we've already gone over. And today's opponent is Chibity Crockett, the pilot of the Gundam Maxter.
That's me.
We are in New York. They're throwing a parade for Chibity Crockett. The man is back in town. We find out he is from New York. He grew up poor, but he was scouted to go to the colonies to fight in the Gundam fight. And he's going to have a title bout today, just a plain old boxing match. Domon infiltrates the boxing match and challenges Chibity to a Gundam fight. Chibity's government handlers are not satisfied with this, and they trick Domon into going to... They want to assassinate Domon, and they trick him eventually into going to a separate spot to fight Chibity. He is ambushed by the government guys, but Chibity shows up to save him. They have their actual Gundam fight on their own terms, and Domon just defeats him in one blow, but convinces him to stay in the fight and keep going because he's a good guy, and they're friends afterwards. So
I love living in America.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's the episode.
It's funny that for the dub, the Bruce Buffer character speaks in French, because
it's so strange to me that he speaks in French in this episode, because this is not the one where we go to Neo France.
Well, it's because in the sub he speaks in English and then says it in Japanese, so it's like he's speaking. It's as if he's speaking to a different audience and then notices you, and it's like, oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that explains it.
Because in the sub he says, "I'd like, if I may, to take you," and then he goes and he does the explanation. I like that he has an eye patch and then like tears it off when he announces the fight, which is very silly to me.
This guy is not like an actual character. He doesn't show up in the show at any point.
That's so fucking good. I love that.
I think he only shows up to introduce the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool though. I like that he's like, this week on G Gundam. I like that he exists in this like ethereal space sitting in his fun chair.
Yeah, I mean, he's the standard
asks him,
like anime narrator, like who introduces like previously on G Gundam, but he's a person. And you see him.
I don't know. I like that Domon actually like hands him the photo and asks him about it.
Hey,
it's like, is he real or not? I don't get it. But we're in New York. We're in Audrey's home turf.
Are we in New York?
The once quiet city of New York.
Here's the thing. Are we in New York? I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. So we are in New York. It opens up, like, the opening shot is from, like, FiDi, which is the financial district, which is at the south of Manhattan. So I'm not mad about it yet. So it's, like, panning up from the south of Manhattan, which makes sense. And so it's at FiDi. Immediately you see the Twin Towers. Immediately, which is really
1994 checks out.
Yep, which is really unfortunate, but like,
oops,
it
happens.
Fine.
Who could have known?
There is no sense of neighborhoods. New York, Manhattan is one homogenous. Homogenous neighborhood. It all looks the same. It like their image of Manhattan is literally, that picture of like the radiators. That's like, wow, you can't beat the New York skyline.
Yeah. Oh god, that's good. Fucking, and inside New York skyline, we see him. We see Steven Universe. We see the one, the only Chibity Crockett.
Chibity Crockett. I love him. I love his stupid hair.
He's being hailed as a hero because the last Gundam fight, he was the one who defeated the Scud Gundam in one hit.
Oh, I thought that was like the beginning of this Gundam fight. Like he did that.
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been. Okay, I don't know. It was.
He
It
had a
happened
match
recently.
in this Gundam fight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that
was-
makes more sense.
That was the interpretation I had as well, yeah.
Against Desert Gundam, as he's called in the dub.
Can I tell? This knocked me flat on my fucking ass because I know I said
Scud
no
Gundam.
ideology.
Is that supposed to be
because
like Iran?
Scud Missile, the Iraq Gundam. Oh, when did the Gulf War happen?
Oh,
3
from
years
Iraq.
prior? Awesome.
Okay.
Cool. What could this mean?
God.
It just fucking knocked me on my ass. I was like, no, you can't. Please, this is episode 2. Don't do this political commentary to
Named
me
it after
yet.
a Scud missile. That's
It's so on the nose.
oh my god.
It's deranged. It's profound and profane. But everyone loves him. America rules. Fucking the announcer's like, and the Maxter Gundam has a secret power inside. Ugh. Insane shit.
Yeah. Wow, it really is Iran, huh?
Fucking everyone's still cheering for Chibide. He has like the twig in his mouth, which I really like. It's just a very
Chibide.
stupid little touch.
You keep saying Chibide.
Yeah, that's what they say in the sub.
that. Really?
Yeah, Chibide.
Insane.
Because, I mean, saying it phonetically, the EE is an A noise. Chibide,
Yeah, I
Chibide.
know.
Either way, he's Steven Universe. He's the same boy we know and love.
Yeah.
And we cut to fucking Silver Diner, because Domon's there hanging out at the bar.
Yeah.
Someone take the scene?
Yeah. There's like the head waitress, I guess, at or bartender at the bar, and the TV is on and it has Chibide, talking about it, and she's like, yeah, he has like, and she notices Domon looking at him, and she's like, oh, are you here for the title fight? And Domon's like, the what? And she's like, yeah, he has like a boxing match tonight. That's why he's here in New York. It should be great. I just hope he doesn't get into trouble. He was and he's, did you know him? She's like, well, he was a bit of a troublemaker around here.
Yeah, not personally, but yeah, everybody knew little old Chibbity Crockett.
He was a
he
brat.
was always causing trouble. But then he got, he fulfilled his dream of going to the colonies.
Yeah.
So he's kind of a symbol of hope in New York to all these people down here.
Yeah.
And his fight is going to be against this guy named, from what I could make out on the poster, Caramello Konami?
Yeah, it's Konami.
Konami.
His name doesn't matter, obviously, but like,
It doesn't.
I was like, I couldn't tell if they were trying to do any clever wordplay with that or not. But no, it's his fight. But like, Chibity is like the champion of the colonies, and Konami's champion of Earth. So it's it's a title bout. And we cut over. We're in Chibity's like sort of like office locker room type area, and he's talking to his agents, his handlers, whatever you want to call them. And they're like, "All right,
I guess some sort of government agency.
yeah,
it's not clear.
it's hard to tell."
Her handlers are like, hey, Chibity, you need to like chill out a little bit because there was a Gundam fight in Italy and the Japanese representative just like took him out very quickly. He could be coming for your ass. Like, need to chill out. And
Yeah, like we have intel that he's in New York.
yeah, it's like, yeah, like we believe that he's on Manhattan Island. Like, chill. And Chibity just looks at them and goes, "I'd rather die, actually."
No, absolutely
God.
not. No
I
chill.
will
on
never
this
chill.
man.
How can I chill with my 4 mommy GFs?
Yeah, he's like, how could I be worried? I've got all these fine ladies to protect
My
me.
4 weed smoking GFs because it's legal
Yes.
in
In future
20,
century.
2050, whatever it is that we're in.
And
Yes, they smoke weed.
Yes. Yes.
God.
Yes, they all top me all the time. These are Chibity's
Men get
girlfriends.
Men get
Yes,
pegged.
they do. Their names are Janet, Shirley, Kath, and Bunny.
Yep. That's same names. Yeah, that really fucking threw me. I was like, what are they going to be sound in the dub? Oh, no, they're the same in the dub. Oh, all right. Yeah, sure. And then we kind of cut over, like, Konami's training in his room, and he's like, oh, some fucking colony schmuck, I'll beat his ass. But then Domon jumps in through the air duct and, like, one punch knocks Konami out to take his place.
This is like the one time when I'm like not actually happy that Domon's as OP as he is. I'm like, this is the boxing champion of Earth. He should have been able to handle more than one punch. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, because clearly Chibide is like stupidly powerful too.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I mean, based on what we see later, I feel like Chibide would also be able to like take him out in one punch. He has capital T technique, but I don't know. Either way, Domo's taking his place.
Yeah, I guess more to the point then, I feel like he should have been less weak. He should have been stronger.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm like, I don't know, man. Come on.
Yeah. Like, at least, like, lock him in his room and then have Domon take the stage instead, so he's not, like, just showing to be a weenie.
Yeah.
But we're on the boxing arena. You know, Domon's there, like, when in the robe, hood
he's
up,
got
no
the
one can
robe
tell
over
who
his
he
head.
is. Impossible to say, and...
Nobody can tell he's way smaller than the guy that is supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm. And Chibiti's being paraded in on top of his Gundam's head, as usual.
Yeah? How did they fit this in the inside of
I don't fucking know. I presumably it's like I think it's a replica that they wheel in, or maybe the boxing arena is just very, very tall and everything's suspended, so you can have the Gundam go through, but like everyone's still in the stands as if it were a normal boxing arena.
I love
who fucking
the idea
knows?
of like building a boxing ring in the sky around a robot head.
Ring in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking
whatever.
It's wild. But
Chibiti
his
enters
handlers,
the ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Talk about what the handlers say.
They're just like fucking. They're scheming. They're like, well, you know, let's just let him win and then use that to take advantage of him. And then afterwards, if he burns up like a star, I don't care. So you know, they're fucking. We don't trust these guys.
Yeah. They're just like scheming. We're evil. We only want to lead be the presidents of space. We don't care.
Yeah.
Very,
very rude.
Chibiti enters the ring. He's kind of hot dogging, shadow boxing for the crowd.
Yes.
And Domon just runs up behind him and hits him with an uppercut and knocks him on his ass.
Yeah, just fucking gets him right away. And everyone's like, the crowd falls silent. And they're like, what the fuck, dude?
What? The match hadn't even begun. What's going on?
Yeah. And then Domon reveals himself and he's like, I'm challenging you to a Gundam fight. You can't refuse me because you're Neo America's hero. And then they start like kind of boxing for real for a little while.
This is so like, why did he have to do this? Like, what?
I don't know.
This is so dramatic. Like,
yeah, because like he could have just walked his fucking Gundam up into Manhattan and be like, yo, where's Chibiti? Let's fight. Like, it doesn't need to be like this. I mean, it's dramatic and I like it, but it doesn't need to be like this. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, well, Chibiti's pissed.
I won't complain.
Either way.
Oh yeah, he does not like this.
He throws a million punches at Domon, but he just dodges all of them.
Mm-hmm. And he does graze Domon a little bit as these sort of guards run in and chase Domon off. And he's like, don't forget, I challenged you. You better fucking come.
Dun, 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 dun. If I can make it there, I can make it anywhere.
Yeah, Chibiti's so fucking mad about this, though.
He smashes the table, just punches straight through it.
He's strong.
He's scaring everyone, and his handlers are like, "Don't worry, Chibiti, we'll handle this. We can just send out an assassination squad and fucking kill him." Chibiti's like, "No,
America, baby.
like, stay out of my business. You know, I can take care of this. This is my fight. I don't want to deal with you guys anymore. So stay out of it." And they just walk off and just continue plotting. And they're like, "Yeah, okay, let's just send a hit squad after Domon. I'm done dealing with this little kid."
Yeah. We do see Bunny in the elevator because, you know, he sent Bunny to, like, track Domon down. And, like, the elevator opens and, like, the blonde agent is, like, smiling menacingly at her. And we cut over to Domon. He's walking in that one park that you see in every single movie set in New York that's, like... do you know what this is, Audrey?
No. Well, okay. Sort of. Because... there is no park there. First of all, okay, so it's at 50th Street. It's at 50th Street. First of all, they have 50th Street as a north-south street. It is not a north-south street. Streets are east-west. So, like, 50th Street is running parallel to the river. This is I'm assuming the East River because it says East 50th Street, so it's not the Hudson. It's East River between Manhattan and Queens and Brooklyn. So it's at 50th Street. There's a bridge there.
Yeah.
There at 50th Street, there isn't, the only bridge that's even remotely near that area is the Queensboro Bridge at 59th Street. So there are no parks there. The park kind of looks like Charles Schurz Park, which is at like 83rd Street, 82nd Street, 83rd Street, but that's way up, obviously, like 30 on the Upper East Side. instead and not in Midtown. There's no bridge there. And then the only other bridges are Manhattan Bridge and Brooklyn Bridge and the Williamsburg Bridge, and there aren't parks like that there either. So, like...
Damn, this is what a dark future where the
Wow.
geography of New York City is irrevocably fucked up.
But like,
Yeah.
mostly I couldn't get over, like, everything was fucked to begin with, but I couldn't get over them putting East 50th Street as a north-south street. It's like, that is literally just First Avenue. What are you talking about?
Fucking, I love it.
How dare
it is
they.
Stupid. They didn't know. All they did was like watch 3 movies set in New York, and they're like, "Yes, we understand the city perfectly."
I was like,
now.
Why-
Yeah, we understand
why
there's
50th
a
Street?
sidewalk next to a river or something.
They didn't need to put
those
any
big tall
streets-
buildings.
They didn't need to put any street signs at all, but they did. They put East 50th Street. I'm so mad.
God, I didn't even spot the street sign. I'm
Me
glad
neither.
you did.
Oh
That
my
rules.
god.
I'm sure you were paying extra close attention
I was
because
like, where
you
did-
know this.
I was like, what's going on in this neck of the woods? What is this neck of the woods?
Yeah, I don't know her. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Oh my god.
And three of the suited goons walk up and they have guns and they're just gonna blow Domon away in the middle of the street. And he's like passing out from that
Yeah.
like glancing blow he caught from Chibity.
So like, if Chibity were to actually fight Konami, he would probably like punch his fucking head off if he's that strong.
yeah, like he caught Domon just like a little bit, like grazed him on the gut, and hours later he's sweating and about to pass out. So he even though he caught all those bullets last episode, he's in no shape to do so now. But thankfully, Rain shows up right on time and saves his ass with
On a
a stun
boat.
rifle.
Down the river with a stun rifle and like fucking sick Oakleys. Like,
Yeah.
I love Rain. She's so cool. She's here to fucking save the day. And she like, she shoots him off with a stun gun. And Chibity sees her and fucking passes out completely. And we cut over. We get a little sort of expository scene with Chibity. Because he's in like this weird sort of like neon alley, just staring out, zoning. And, like all of his mommy GFs ask him if he's okay. And he's like, this is where my dreams began. And he was a kid, we see him back in the day before he had this little pink tuft of hair. He's all blue hair. He's a little babby. He's just like a kid struggling to survive on the mean streets of NYC.
Yeah, little scamp stealing baguettes.
Everyone eats the
There's-
baguettes here. It rules.
There's a moment where you see him running away from cops, and
Yeah.
he hides under, like, in a canal. Where was this?
the
me
canals
is,
in New York City.
I don't know anything about New York. Even me, I was like, this seems a bit suspect. I'm sure Audrey will have something to say about this.
I was like, are we in Venice now? Are we?
Yeah.
Where have we gone? Because there aren't pedestrian bridges in New York. It's a fucking island, and every bit of space on it is used and built upon. So, yeah. Would love to know where this is taking place. Give me the cross streets for this one, please.
I'm telling you, Audrey, it's a dark future.
Yeah, I know.
This is what happened. But yeah, he ends up, he like fights all these thugs as kids, and he gets picked up by like probably the same agents that are his handlers now, and taken to the colonies. We do see the reflection of Mount Rushmore in the window of like the space jet he's taking to the colonies. So did they just like take it with them?
I feel
Yeah,
like
Just like load Mount
like-
Rushmore onto the fucking Neo America colony?
no, I think they recreated everything because
Yeah,
we
I think
also
it's like
see
a replica.
we see the Statue of Liberty on the colony, but the
That's
Statue
true.
of Liberty definitely
Yeah, but there's the
appears
real
in
one.
Manhattan in this episode
Yeah,
in
I
a
think,
really
yeah,
horrible way.
It's like a weird Las Vegas sort of like America land. Like
Yeah.
this is what all the colonies are like.
That's
Yeah.
literally
Like they're all just like here.
that's literally what they did. They didn't take the actual anything for actual Mount Rushmore or anything. They just picked up New York, the hotel from Las Vegas, and,
more you need?
transported it to the colonies.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's it.
and the American colony is of course shaped like a big star.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
There's
all
like a
the
giant
colonies-
holographic American flag projected behind the Statue
I
of Liberty.
hate this
It
fucking
rules.
country.
Fucking sucks. It's awful.
Disgusting.
But he, after this sort of like flashback, he's like, if you set your mind to it, dreams don't just end up as dreams. And he like punches all the neon. The girls.
Yeah,
love
he
this
realized
shit.
that he can use his own hands to grasp his dreams, and he shatters all the neon signs around just for fun.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come, Japanese." He's like ready to fight Domon now.
Domo.
He calls him Japanese.
Yes.
Like, it says in the subtitles, like, come Neo Japan, but, like, he calls them Japanese. He says a lot of, like, random English words sprinkled in, which is just a cute
they
touch.
did not do that. They didn't do that in the dub because that's that's vaguely racist. So they say, like, Neo Japan fighter or Neo Japan or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Domon, however, is not ready to fight. Domon is
No.
hashtag wasted.
Yeah.
He's white girl wasted. He's in New York's downtown Skid Row next to a neon sign that just says Manhattan.
So
Yep.
he wakes up in this hotel room, and Rain is next to him. He goes, "Where am I?" And she's like, "You're in downtown Skid Row." I'm like, okay, stop, reverse. First of all, Skid Row I know is a generic term that we use to describe slums these days, but technically, Skid Row is in LA. That is where Skid Row is. Second of all, what are we talking about by downtown? Because all the way downtown is, again, Wall Street, so we're probably not talking there. Are we talking like the Bowery? Because I feel like...
I think in the dub she doesn't say downtown. She does say Skid Row, but I don't think she says downtown.
Okay, because she definitely says downtown, which, again, I will grant it, that in 1994, these neighborhoods were very different than they are today, and the Bowery probably wasn't a great place to hang out. So I could believe they're at the Bowery, but I was like,
Sure.
Like, downtown Skid Row. We're in Los Angeles now. Fantastic.
Tremendous. Fucking... Ugh. And, you know, she, like, kind of wakes him up and makes sure he's okay. Like, you know, you remember who I am.
I love this shot of, like, she gets, like, really close to his face and is like, oh, are they gonna kiss? But then she just, like, starts inspecting his eye, like, to see if he has a concussion.
She, like, tosses a pill in his mouth as he's trying to tell her that he's okay. Like, it's good. Like, I like that she's taking care of him, not in this, like, sort of motherly way, but in just, like, you're my teammate. I'm gonna make sure that you're doing good.
I'm like, obsessed with their relationship. It's one of the most interesting relationships between a main character and the obvious love interest I've seen in, like, a long time. And, like, one of the most genuine... Like, it's what it shows for me is that, like, as the foundation of most good relationships, that they are first and foremost best friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And...
It's so much better that way.
Yeah, which is very, very good to me.
I think it's clear that, like, they have feelings for each other, and I think they probably both know that.
Yeah.
It's just that they're not really... It's not an explicit thing between them, mostly. So, I mean, it will develop, but it does already feel like they're kind of in an unofficial relationship, to be honest, at this point.
It's great. And Bunny walks in at this point, and she's looking very normal, and she says, Chibity says to meet at 8 on Broadway, and just fucking fucks off, and they're like, cool, great, let's go.
Wait, doesn't she say Brooklyn Stadium?
Fucking... Oh my god. This MF did say Brooklyn Stadium.
Yeah, okay. They said Brooklyn Stadium. Hey, that doesn't exist.
No, certainly not.
Hey, that's not a thing. The closest thing we got...
There's no stadium in Brooklyn?
No, absolutely not. There's Citi Field in Queens, and then there's Yankee Stadium in, like, the Bronx.
Are those both baseball fields?
Yes, those are both baseball stadiums. I guess they're
this is explicitly a football field.
Oh, there's football.
That they're on right now.
Okay, but regardless, there is no stadium in Brooklyn. The closest thing we have to it is Barclays Center, which Yes, I guess you could open Barclays Center up, but that's basketball, baby. So...
It's so fucking funny. Ball is life.
Ball is life.
Ball is life.
There is no Brooklyn Stadium. I want to be very clear about that.
No, certainly not. And Chibity's at Brooklyn Stadium waiting for Domon the next morning, and he's all mad. He's like, where are you, Japanese? And, like, Rain overslept and realizes, oh shit, he was told to go to Broadway. And we see Domon in Broadway, and Bunny's there, and she's like, haha, thanks for coming, now die.
She's been
her voice
hypnotized, I guess?
Yeah, mind-controlled, hypnotized. Her voice turns into, like, the handler's voice as she passes out, and, like, he fires missiles from his, like, transformable mobile suit at Domon.
Do you think this...
Almost just hits Bunny with the missiles.
Do you think this was a reference to, like, MK Ultra or some of the shitty, like, CIA things?
I have no fucking clue.
I don't know. Like I said, they're not explicitly CIA, but it feels like they're supposed to be. Yeah. Just, like, with the way they're, like, you know, doing these weird backroom deals and stuff, and just assassinating people. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It is so wild.
Sorry. Chibity is waiting for Domon at Barclay Center. And and realizes somehow he's not coming, and he sees like explosions in the distance. Which, first of all, he sees explosions in Manhattan, which you could see, but it's also like, you said you're in Brooklyn. You're in another like, what is going on here? But fine, he sees the explosions, and he's like, "Oh my god, my handlers are being jackasses. I've got to stop this."
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know about in the sub, but in the dub, he starts off by saying, "Hey, that area is uninhabited, so we know nobody's in danger, but there's something happening over there."
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he says something like, "Why is someone over there?" But he says, Rain drives up now, and then Chibity understands what happened, so he says, "Janet, Kath, Shirley, let's go!" And he, like, gets in Gundam Maxter and throws its shield, and he uses it as a fucking hoverboard surfboard to fly over to Broadway.
Yeah, we have not described Gundam Maxter up to this point. Should we do so now?
Yeah.
It's a football player.
What if a football player Boxer Gundam?
It's a big, large football player. It has things that can unfold and go over its hands to be boxing gloves, and then also the shoulder pads can come off and go over the hands to be bigger boxing gloves.
Yeah.
And also the chest armor comes off just so it can look like it's shirtless.
It's like what if a football player was a boxer? Would that be fucked up or what?
What if a football player was a boxer but also a cowboy and a surfer?
Do you want to hear something absolutely deranged? There's a G Gundam manga, I think it's a sequel series, and there's a different version of Maxter called Gundam Max Revolver, and it is what if a firefighter cowboy.
Yeah.
I have posted the image.
I believe
in
that's
our
a
scheduling
prequel.
chat. Prequel, sequel, yeah, it's a different version of Maxter, and it looks like Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Maxter is less explicitly a cowboy. It does have 6 shooters, which is why I'm calling it a cowboy, but and it has a surfboard shield thing.
Surfboard. It's wild. Fucking, you can tell this is the American fucking Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
But then this fight breaks out, and Domon has to call his Gundam out, which is inside the Statue of Liberty, which bursts out as he activates
He just
so
explodes the
fucked up.
remains of the Statue of Liberty.
This is so
fucking
fucked up.
funny.
He's like, "I'm gonna destroy your national symbol as a laugh." Like,
It's already just a
It's
torso like
just a
Planet of
prank.
the Apes. Like,
Yeah. It's impossible. It fucking is great. I like that he has his Corelander. So
Yes.
it's not like other Gundam series where like the entire sort of like belly button torso area like would eject, but this is just like a thing that slots into the back of Shining Gundam. It's like a sort of like hover car type thing, and Domon rides it and he gets inside, and then
it's a sweet car.
it's a sweet whip. And we get the magical girl transformation sequence again. It's like a full minute of canned animation. And we get to see another trick
So
the
looks
Shining
every bit
Gundam
as
has,
good.
which isn't... it never gets old. And the other trick Shining Gundam has is not really a trick, but he has a beam saber, and he just fucking cuts through one of those helicopter
I think
suits
he
like
just
it's
killed
nothing.
that man.
He definitely
Oh.
killed that. No, the cockpit's always in the chest. He killed that man for real.
There is a very significant body count in this show.
What about it? It's normal. I see no problem here.
It's another very cool fight. Once that they've established that they are on equal terms. Chibity has this great moment where he's like, "I would like to, first of all, apologize for the behavior of these people who've disgraced the American name. I'd also like to start over. So this time, I'd like to ask you to fight."
Yeah, it's nice.
And Domon does like a little smirk, but it's not like malicious. It's just like, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, kind of smirk. He's like, "It would be my honor," or whatever, and then they fight.
Yes. Argo, you want to tell us what Gundam Maxter does here?
So Gundam Maxter can shoot like tornadoes out of its fists. We saw it do this to deflect some missiles from one of the CIA guys. At this point, he shoots his shoulder pads off. He rips his shirt off of the Gundam somehow. He mounts the big boxing gloves on, and they just throw a single punch at each other.
Their fists lock. It's very intense.
Yeah. They just punch each other's fists. And even without Shining Finger on, Shining Gundam is just shattering this boxing glove on the Maxter.
It's like, he's too powerful. Someone stop praying for my Domon.
Yeah, and Chibity is kind of astonished that he's being beaten in strength.
Yeah, poor guy.
And
He has...
Go ahead.
In the sub, as he's being beaten, he does in English say, "Oh my god!"
Yes, it's so fucking funny. And Domon again DMs him the image of photo. He's like, you know this man? And he's like, no. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why. I thought you would know who he is anyway. Y'all mind if I shiny finger?
Yeah.
And then he like fucks up.
He
Master's
just
arm
activates it while he's grabbing this boxing glove and just rips through his arm, just demolishes the whole thing. That like doesn't stand a chance, like through butter.
It's pretty rad.
It's pretty cool looking, like the
Pretty
animation on
fucking
him
cool
ripping
looking.
through the arm. And yeah, that's
like
the end
it.
of the fight.
Yeah, and
Yeah, like
Chibity is sort of sitting on the floor of his cockpit, cradling his arm, and he's like, "Wow, I guess my dream ends here with my right arm." And he looks up at Domon, and he's like, "Well, what are you waiting for? Finish me off! Like it's your right. You won. Finish me off."
Fucking kill me.
And Domon's like, "I can't do that." And I will say, what we see here is in fact an accurate representation of the parasocial relationship between New Yorkers and their sports teams.
really is.
This is, as someone who's lived in New York basically my entire life, this is exactly what a Yankees fan looks like.
Yeah.
The citizens of New York fade into existence to cheer Chibity on. Because
They're all wearing Yankees with brim.
Yeah, like we said before, Chibity is like their symbol of hope to, maybe get out of these slums one day and make it to the colonies. So, like, if Chibity gives up, what hope do they have? And they convince Chibity to keep going because, you're allowed to keep challenging in the Gundam fight.
Yeah, Article 3. As long as the dream of winning remains with the fighter may challenge the championship as often as they desire.
Yes.
Yeah. And he says, I will be back.
I'll be
in
back.
English. And he's like, I'll pay you back for sure, Domon Kashu. And Domon is like, you're one of the good guys, Chibity Crockett. But he says, Chibity Crockett, nice guy. And Chibity just says, thank you.
Both of those things in English.
All in English.
Chibity Crockett,
It's so
nice
fucking
guy.
good.
Thank you.
Anyway, they're dating now. We love it.
Welcome to the Polycule.
Welcome to the Polycule. This is all G Gundam is Domon Kashu traveling the world, finding friends to date.
Either finding members for his Polycule or killing anyone else.
It's one or the other.
Yeah,
Good episode.
Chibity definitely bisexual. I mean, he's wearing the colors. He's got them.
Yeah. He has his 5 mommy GFs and also Domon.
And all the other
And he's
members
also
of their
Steven Universe.
Polycule that they continue to get.
Yes.
We get another one next episode.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of next episode, Audrey?
Yeah, 1 second. Let me pull this up here. All right. So,
Hell yeah.
for this episode, Domon has traveled to Neo China, where he's approached by 2 Shaolin monks who ask him to take on and defeat the Gundam fighter officially chosen for Neo China, who has apparently gone rogue and is terrorizing local villages and basically just acting as a bandit. Domon does accept after they take Rain hostage, much to their chagrin, and has a question to ask about a guy in a photo anyway, so he sets off to confront the leader of these bandits who's piloting the Dragon Gundam. And on his way, he finds a, teenage boy who is like, yeah, I would like to come with you on your journey to wherever you're going. And before he can say no, the boy has managed to get his way into the cockpit of his, rover. So they head off to the band of thugs, and, the boy gives up his position. It's like, oh, wow, there's this weird guy over here. Nissan Tachi, you should probably do something about that.
Yeah.
And Domon gets captured by thugs. The kid's like, I'm just a traveling chef. I can cook for you instead. He cooks for them, and then later, while Domon's in a cell, he comes in, lets Domon out, and is like, hey, sorry about that. Here, I cooked something to make up for you. And Domon's, not looking at him, and then he's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna let you out of the cell. And Domon gets free and goes to confront the leader, who he believes is a martial artist that the Shaolin monks told him about, named Sai Sai Shi. And the kid, meanwhile, goes off while they're all distracted and tries to get the Gundam back. And the Kid reveals that he is in fact Saitaishi. When he came to Earth, he and his Gundam got separated. The leader of the bandits found it and has been using it maliciously, but Article 4 of the regulations of the Gundam fight say that a fighter must be responsible and accountable for his Gundam, so he used Domon to get back to it. He and Domon fight, but and even though Saitaishi is quite young, he's like 14, 15, they end in a draw. Domon does ask him about the guy in the photo, but Saitaishi's like, yeah, I have no idea who that is. And Domon's like, cool, I guess I'll see you around then. And they pop off.
Yeah. Saitaishi is 16.
Saitaishi is 16, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Which is still, like, very funny that he's baby compared to, like, the
He looks like
14-year-old
he's 12.
Gundam pilot in the last series. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so fucking... the first thing is, like, we see his silhouette, Saitaishi, talking to, like, the leader of Neo China. On how he's the representative and he has to be the one to,
Can I just say, I love Wu Fei.
They really, like... Certainly it can be chalked up to Gundam not having a reverence or appreciation to other countries surrounding Japan, but, like, they really are the same character, aren't they?
Saitaishi and Wu Fei from Gundam Wing are literally the exact same character, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that fool next season.
Oh, God.
But we see the Kokuryu gang.
Yeah,
they're like...
Kokuryu gang, rise up!
They're attacking villages. They have, like, these really cool... Well, first of all, they have the Dragon Gundam. But they also have these, like, sort of, like, hover car bikes that, like, plug together to become one of those, like, Chinese puppet dragons, which is such a fucking cool idea. I love that shit. It's a dragon.
I'm a dragon.
Oh
very
my
silly.
God, I'm glad I've shared that TikTok with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they be terrorizing villages. And
yeah.
First of all, I would love to know how Domon and Rain are choosing where they go to next. And also why Domon and Rain seem to be the only people, like, interested in actually pursuing Gundam fights. Since everyone else just stays in their home country. But, like...
Presumably there's hundreds of other Gundams that are doing things all at the same time.
I guess.
And Domon has a list on the back of the photograph that he's just going down to, like, go to the next country.
I guess, but going from Italy to America to China seems a little ass backwards. I feel like there's a more smooth transition.
There's probably, you could have, France is right there.
Yeah, like you could have gone from Italy to France to Germany to Switzerland. These are all people, like, Gundams we will see later on. It just seems a little weird.
Yeah, right? I don't fucking know. But we see these two Shaolin monks who are named Zuisen and Keun, and they're, like, watching all this happen, and they see Domon and Rain, who are, like, fighting off the bandits, and...
Rain just has a normal gun this time. It's not even a stun rifle.
Yeah, no more stun gun. She's just ready to kill.
Rain is tired of being nice. She's ready to go apeshit.
Yeah, it took her one episode, and she's like, no, I've had enough of this shit. If Domon's going to drag me around the world, I'm going to be able to get to kill someone out of it. And they see the Dragon Gundam, and as they want to get ready to get in the Shining Gundam, the monks appear, and they're like, hey, we have a favor to ask you. And we just immediately kind of cut to the next day, after the carnage, Rain is sort of being the medic to all these poor villagers, while Domon is hanging out with these two freak-ass monks.
They finally tell him their name.
Yeah. I know, right? We didn't know that until now.
Yeah, they are Shaolin monks from the famous Shaolin school of martial arts. As Domon says, the most powerful martial arts in the world. But like 60 years ago, when the Gundam fight started, most of their practitioners, like their students, defected to what's the name?
I can't remember it, but it's a different temple. It's a different temple in the colonies, basically.
It was the Chikurian school.
Yeah. So they're like, fuck Earth, fuck all this noise. We're getting on Elon Musk's Mars train and going to the colonies.
Yeah. Fucking... And then, they're like, well, everyone fucked off. And it turns out the leader, the son of the leader of our school is the Gundam pilot, and he is being a disgrace and an embarrassment to the temple, so we need you to go kick his ass.
Saitaishi.
Yeah.
We need you to take care of Saitaishi.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And Domon's like, if I refuse? And they just fucking leap over and hold a knife to Rain's throat.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, bro, chill. I just got here. We helped you fucking, like, to help fix up the village. This is how you repay me?
Yeah, so Domon agrees. He takes off in the core lander and is just like, all right, Rain, I'll be waiting for you. Rain, like, politely asks them to take the knife away from her throat.
And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like they're not mean people. They just need to get this done. And I feel like Domon was going to fight the Gundam pilot anyway, so I don't know why it needed to be like this.
Yeah.
Alas.
I mean, it needed to be like this because...
driving the core lander... Yeah,
it needed to be like this because Domon decided to be a shit-ass punk and be like, what if I don't want to do it?
Yeah.
How about I don't? And yeah, you were saying, Argyle?
Yeah, he's just driving the core lander through this bamboo forest down the road. I mean, there's just a kid in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's normal.
Pretty obviously Saisaishi.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this is like extremely. This is not a subtle episode, nor is it a subtle series. So
it's called dramatic
absolutely
irony.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know it. Domon doesn't.
He's resting on a walk
Yeah.
that he carries on his back at all times.
He's a traveling chef.
Kind of mad that we don't see the walk in action more in these episodes in terms of like fighting.
Man.
They really like built it up to be like, what if he uses it as like Captain America's shield? Like that's what I was expecting, and then
that'd be so sick.
but then it wasn't, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what's the point then? But he like hops into the core lander and asks Domon for a lift, and Domon says no, but then he's just like still very persistent. So he doesn't really care. He's like whatever.
Saisaishi is animated very differently from every other character.
Yes, he's very like silly and goofy. I like it. I like
a lot of like chibi faces.
I feel like
yeah.
I feel like I can't say this with any real confidence, but I feel like a lot of his character was inspired by Sun Wukong, by the Monkey King.
Yes.
Well, yeah, obviously, like his Gundam obviously is.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Sun Wukong to.
I mean, he uses the staffs. He uses the staffs, but like Sun Wukong is like. Or Son Goku, as some people may know him.
Might be more familiar with him from Dragon Ball.
Right. Is like the Monkey King of Chinese legend. In one of the 4 fundamental Chinese stories, Journey to the West. And he rides on a cloud, and he uses a staff, and he's basically charged to a Buddhist priest who's making this journey, and is. Like, the Buddhist priest needs to almost tame this, like, earth spirit. And he's a very mischievous... he's like a trickster god. He's basically the Chinese equivalent to a trickster god, which I feel like is a large basis for Saisaishi's character.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels appropriate. I like them just riding along with the canopy up on the core lander.
Yeah, it's cute.
They come across a village. They're very hungry, and they don't have any money, so they can't pay for anywhere to stay or food to eat.
Domon specifically is like so the kid is like, hey, like, Aniki, let's stay here in the village, and Domon's just like, I'm broke.
Bandit stole my money, dog.
and the kid's like, don't worry, I got you. And then it's like smash cut to them working in the kitchens.
Yeah, right. So like, well, no one eats for free. Because there's like this big festival going on in the village right now. So they're earning their keep by working, helping with that.
Yeah, it turns out Saisaichi's a pretty good cook. Domon's just washing dishes. They're just hanging out in the room that they were able to get afterwards. Saisaishi did secure them some food, thankfully. Yeah. And that's when the gang of bandits shows up again to loot this festival.
Yeah, they fly in on their little dragon bikes, and they start torching the place, and, like, one of the bandits sneaks up behind them in their room and, like, hits them with a flamethrower, and they duck, but then, like, Domon kicks him off the balcony, and he lands in this, like, straw pile and pops open the hidden core lander underneath, and he gets in and steals it, and Domon's like, fuck.
Oops.
Uh-oh, not a good idea, so they have to fucking chase them now, too.
So they're just... I think they get, like, horses or something, don't they?
I don't remember. From what I understand, I think they just cut immediately over to the fucking Great Wall of China.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, their hideout is the entire Great Wall of China. That's insane.
that's right.
That is absolutely insane. I cannot believe that was something that was actually described in the show.
It's normal.
It's very long. I've been to the Great Wall of China.
It's big.
It's very long.
Well, they've earned it.
Hmm.
Maybe the Neo China took most of the wall with them when they built the colony
maybe.
into space.
Maybe.
This is all that's left.
Yeah, it's just it's a little tiny wall now.
Yeah, and the boy is telling Domon how, that's where their hideout is, and Domon's like, how do you know so much about this? And he's like, I've done all my homework. I just need to go to a place on the other side of the wall. Bye. And he's like, fucking runs ahead, and Domon's like, what the fuck is this kid's deal? And he sneaks up to the bandits who are like guarding it, and he's like behind a rock, whispering his hand signal. He's like, psst, hey, you want to fucking get a reward? Check out behind that rock over there. And they all fucking surround Domon, and Sasha, or the kid's like, sorry, bro, like, I'm playing both sides, so no matter what, I come out on top.
Yeah, I just want to get to where I'm going. I don't really care about you, so...
very, very rude.
Yeah, Domon gets captured because there's just a million guys with flamethrowers and swords and guns, and brought to their base inside the Great Wall, I guess.
Inside the Great fucking Wall.
Listen, if they can put a McDonald's there.
He's just like, he's hanging from the ceiling. They've beaten him up a lot. He's looking pretty rough. And their leader shows up. I don't think he actually gets a name, but Domon calls him Saisaishi because he is.
Yes,
he assumes that this old
he
guy
because he's the leader,
the son of the leader of the Shaolin monks.
It makes sense.
The bandit leader is like, what? Yeah, I mean, sure, I have the Dragon Gundam. I don't know who he obviously doesn't know who Saisaishi is. He ties Domon up in his big, weird dragon head that he just wears.
It's normal. It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. Yeah, and like Saisaishi clearly feels bad about this, but like he can't really, do anything or reveal this.
Yeah, he like sees Domon on the floor, like wrapped up in this dragon costume, and is like, Aniki, and then immediately the bandit leader is like, are you with him? And he's like, haha, nope.
No, I'm a traveling chef. Can I cook for you?
Yeah.
And your band of merry men?
Yeah, fuck, sure, why not? That sounds good. And Domon's put in a cell, and we see the boy goes up to him. Made of it's fucking the raw materials. This is Argyle. They were taken into the colony. This is all they have.
It's the Great Wall of China, Argyle. You have to respect its historical integrity.
You need to respect its historical drip.
Of course. My bad.
He brings Domon, like a bowl of soup or whatever, and he's like, you know what? Sorry I had to use you for this, but you've been helpful to me, so I'm just gonna unlock the cell.
Every day,
and you can be on your merry way.
Every day, Saisaishi wakes his 16-year-old body up and chooses violence.
Yeah, because Domon leaves the cell and he's sitting there and he's like, Domon has escaped! And he's like fucking hauling ass throughout the Great Wall, alerting all of the guards. It's like, this is the most chaotic boy in the world. I love him.
I love Saisaishi.
He's so good.
It turns out this was a gambit to get the bandit leader to go to where he's hiding the Dragon Gundam. Because as he's going to, suit up, Saisaishi sneaks up behind him and just kicks him in the head and knocks him out.
He's like, thank you for returning my toy to me, fucker.
Yeah, thanks.
And this is when Saisaishi himself gives us Article 4, a Gundam fighter must be responsible for his Gundam.
Yes.
So I guess, he got it back, and Domon jacks his Corelander back up, and he drives it out, and he sees the dragon activate. And then this is when, Saisaishi explains, oh yeah, I'm Saisaishi, by the way, I had an accident when I fell from space, and I was separated from the Gundam, and it was taken by the bandits, but now I got it.
I have to say,
yay!
So he explains all of this, and I have to say it's really funny that Domon's like, oh, you did all of this to get your Gundam back. Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
he's not mad about it. He's just like, he literally says, oh, you used me to get your Gundam back.
Yeah, but he's like, I understand.
He's just like, you can pay me back by, fighting me in a Gundam fight match.
Exactly.
And they fight.
And they fight. Yeah, Dragon Gundam has fucking stretchy arms. It's like this.
I
like,
love Dragon Gundam. It's really cool.
And
It's like white with green, red, and gold. It's very
it has
colorful.
stretchy arms. It has a very cool tail. It's a dragon.
Yeah.
It's got the stretchy arms that have like dragon faces on the end of them, and they breathe fire. It's not just a tail; it's a ponytail.
Yes.
It's got like blades and a spike at the end. He does, yes, have a staff with like flags on it that he can apparently use to really confuse Domon.
To make illusions. The pole extends too. It's very extremely.
obviously.
It's literally the Neoibo.
Yep, it literally is Noiboy. That's what I have in my notes. And like Domon has to like try and meditate to find out where Saisaishi is. And he like has Shining Finger ready, and he like grabs Dragon Gundam through a flag, but disappears again. And Saisaishi attacks from above, and then does the exact same thing, and then actually grabs the Dragon Gundam's head of the Shining Finger.
And he's like, again, he's like DMs Saisaishi this picture. And Saisaishi's like, yeah, I have no idea who that is. And he's like, well, that's all the purpose I need from you. Time to end this. And as he's like,
I guess he is just about to remove this dude's head.
Yeah.
Like he's spared Chibity, but he's Saisaishi. He's gonna take the head off of.
He's a little too mischievous to be left.
Yeah,
alive.
so he's about to pop Dragon Gundam's head like a watermelon. When there's a cry from the left, and he looks up, and it is Keiun and Zuzen again, who are like, Mr. Domon, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And Domon's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it turns out that while he wasn't looking, Saisaishi has wrapped the ponytail of Dragon Gundam around Shining Gundam's neck as well, and all it would take is one sort of clench to rip that straight off as well.
Yeah.
Oof.
So they agree to call it a draw.
It's nice though.
Yeah.
And Saisaishi gets welcome to the polycule.
Pretty much. Because also there's a cute bit. Domon says like a very recognizable phrase that we'll hear many times.
Yes.
Because as he
Finally he says the words.
Yes, as he
Say
has
the
his
line, Bart!
yeah,
Say the
as he
line,
has the
Domon.
line or his hand over the Dragon Gundam's head, he says, "This hand of mine glows with an awesome power. Its burning grip tells me to defeat you."
Its burning feet tells
hell
me
yeah,
to
dude.
defeat you!
Yeah.
As he says in the Toonami promos.
Yeah.
Once again,
God.
like I said, the delivery on it in the dub, very good.
Yeah.
He's good at the action scenes.
Yeah. It's good to yell it. And yeah, like Saisaishi ends up getting taken with the monks to actually train and like carry on Shaolin tradition. But he'll be back someday, certainly.
Yeah, we'll meet again.
We'll meet again. And that was episode.
That was episode.
Yeah.
And that was episodes, plural. What a fucking fun way to start out G. It is just immediately energetic and goofy.
I fucking love
and
G
very
Gundam.
wacky. It's so fun. I love. It's like I'm watching a show that's fun. It doesn't tire me out. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, we'll get there, but
Yeah, well, yeah, certainly. But for now, it's a good.
God.
The intro is like,
I can't wait for.
Couldn't it be
I
always
can't wait
like
for us to
this?
get to my favorite character, George, or should I say
George Joestar.
Georges de Sand.
Oui. Well, yeah, because we still need to go to Neo France and Neo
Yeah.
Russia. Are
Yes.
the only places left on Domon's fun picture.
Yes, I love George. He's my favorite character in this entire series, and his Gundam, the Rose Gundam, fucks so hard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What if Napoleon Bonaparte had a Gundam? Is basically
what if
that.
Napoleon Bonaparte was a Gundam?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. No segment today. This is the first episode. The segment is introducing the listeners to our fun new co-hosts.
Whoop whoop.
Maybe we'll do something next week. I'll figure something out. In the meantime, though, I'd like to ask, as we close down, where can we find y'all on the internet? Audrey?
Yeah, okay. I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr and Twitter at Optimum on Prime, my funny robot internet joke.
Ha 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 ha.
I am also, as I mentioned, a host of Pot of Greed with literally everyone else on the show right now, which you can find at Pot of Greed on Twitter and on the Noisepace XYZ network, which we will talk about in a little bit, I'm assuming. I don't have any other projects in the making at the moment, but if you are interested in hearing more from me in the future, you can follow at The Reticulation. That is TheReticulation on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook for updates about a website I am launching with a friend of mine that will be uplifting and spotlighting LGBT voices in the world of pop culture criticism.
Hell yeah. Argyle?
I have been Argyle. You can find me on Twitter at Argyle_funk. You can also listen to Pod of Greed, of course, but also my Yakuza podcast, KMRO FM, also known as Kamarocho Radio. I host it with friend of the show, Jordan. We're currently talking about Yakuza 2, one of my favorite games in the series. It's very good. Give it a listen.
Fuck yeah. And I'm Max. You can find me on Twitter at MaxyBajillion. My other shows... Audrey mentioned Pod of Greed, but my other show is Slappers Only, a video game music showdown podcast. Tune in. Our episode on Donkey Kong Country will be out by the time this episode comes out. And that will not a joke. The real one, the real game, the real game that Jordan got mad at me for making him play because it's a hard game.
It's a bad game.
It's not. It's a good game.
It's bad.
And this show you can find on Twitter at WowCool Podcast. There's Discord link in our episode description and on Twitter, so you can come hang out with us on our Discord channel. We're also a Noise Space podcast. Go to noisespace.xyz to find this, all the shows we mentioned, many, many more. Wonderful podcasting. Thank you, Matt GameCube, who is our gracious overlord. And one final question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Audrey.
Mm-hmm.
Audrey, what's your robot of the week?
Oh boy, what's my robot of the week? Whew! That's...
Yeah, remember, anything can be a robot if you can convince us.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about it. My robot of the week is the squeaky toy flying squirrel I got for my cat.
Wonderful.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
It's good. An aerial mobile suit for good old Figaro.
I mean, sort of. It doesn't actually fly, but it does look like a flying squirrel, and it.
Okay, well, anything flies.
It both crinkle tinkles and squeaks with a device in it.
That.
So that is why it is a robot.
Wow,
that's some functionality.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay. Well.
Can you wait? But Max, instead of war is bad, can you please do colonization is bad?
Okay, yeah. Okay, oh, yeah. Because there's not war in this one. It's just Gundam fights.
Right, specifically, there's no wars because of the Gundam fights.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in this week. It has been a blast. Tune in next week for more G Gundam antics. And remember, in the words of Domon Kashu, colonization is bad.
Wow!
Cool robot.
Goodbye. I almost said goodbye new types. Fuck new types. None of them in here.
Goodbye, Gundam fighters.
Peach.
Peace.